Hey everyone, I thought I'd post a video today kind of outlining what's going on as opposed to just sending a mass email or doing a posting on Google Classroom. Certainly, I'll still provide those materials on Google Classroom as with this video, but I thought it might be good to kind of explain a couple things, semi in person as best we can here during our times here with remote learning. Basically, right now, the main thing that we're focusing on is the Fahrenheit 451 research paper. So it's pretty much business as usual as has been the last few weeks while we've been working with this research paper. With today being Friday, you should have a completed rough draft with your Google Doc for Tuesday of next week. So the idea is by Tuesday, you have all the paragraphs are completed. You have all of the necessary citations and support, which would mean that you have information coming from Fahrenheit 451. That would also mean that you have an additional book source, and then you would have a total of 6 sources total. Now, you can go beyond that. It can certainly be more. So if anything, it'd be like 6+ sources. But you have use from, you have a source, a citation, a quote coming from Fahrenheit 451. You have another book source that's being used, and at least 6 sources total. Also, would want it to be formatted in paragraphs. So that means that any of the template material that I put on there, so far as the headings or the sentence numbers, those would be taken out, and you would have actual paragraphs for your rough draft. So, and this would be by the end of Tuesday. So you have today, Friday, to work on it, certainly weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday to have that rough draft complete. Should already have a works cited page that is on there that we exported from before. And so you'd want to make sure that the sources that you have in your paper are going to match up with the works cited page. So certainly have, if a change needs to be done, an updated works cited page would be that very last page all by itself on your essay. So that rough draft being due for Tuesday, and certainly as you do things with your essay, I'll continue to make comments via Google Docs, and then that would set up for our final copy being next Thursday. And you don't have to turn that in via Google Docs or Google Classroom, but you would just submit that through turnitin.com, which we already have our account set up for. You want to make sure, as I already mentioned, that you have that quote coming from Fahrenheit 451, and also make sure that that counter argument paragraph is within the essay, which is typically going to be your final body paragraph. And what you're doing with the counter argument paragraph is you're taking that opposing viewpoint and you're essentially dismissing it. So those who would disagree with you in that counter argument, you're identifying what their viewpoint would be, but you're going to find some flaws with it or why their viewpoint would not be persuasive or simply just does not stack up against yours. So you don't want to change your viewpoint, your attitude, your argument at all. You're just making sure that you're kind of dismissing, counter arguing against what someone else's viewpoint would be that disagrees with you on your specific topic. So research paper is certainly what we're working on for this week and next. As things get updated and hopefully a little bit clarity, we'll have an idea as to what's coming up next for us, whether it's returning to school at the end of March or if remote learning is going to be extended. What is going to be continuing to happen for us within the course for English 10 is, we still have a Keystone exam that is scheduled for May, beginning the week of May 11th. That has not changed from the Pennsylvania Department of Education. So we'll continue to prepare for Keystone exam with constructed response and multiple choice until basically told otherwise. And then curricular-wise for us, we'll also be doing a poetry unit. And assuming we return to school, that'll be the first thing that we do. If there's an extension with FID days and remote learning, then we'll start to introduce the poetry unit via Google Classroom. And a poetry unit's pretty significant in the sense that poetry is part of your Keystone exam. So we want to have some experience and familiarity with poetry, and especially writing about it, answering questions, multiple choice, doing our own poetry, but build some familiarity with it so that when we get exposed to it on the Keystone exam, we know what we're getting into. As you have questions, and certainly I would anticipate those questions being about the research paper at this point, you can post questions within your rough drafts that you're working on for your research paper, but you can also send me an email. You can either do knj@nhsd.net or the staff.nhsd.net Gmail. I'd say that one is preferred, and it's kind of automatically linked up with your Gmail account. So as you start to type in my name, this email address should appear on its own. But you can also send me remind text, and I did on Google Classroom put a discussion thread under the FID materials where any place that you come across any resources that you think could be helpful or questions that you have about course or specific assignments, we can update on there. So right now it's status quo of continue working with the research paper, accessing databases, updating works cited pages to find more sources if needed, but we're going to continue working with that. And then once we get to the end of next week and hopefully have a clearer idea of what's in our future, we can kind of prepare for Keystone exam, poetry unit, and what else may be coming our way. Whether that's going to be traditional instruction in the classroom or remote learning. But I hope this finds everyone doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe. Try to stay engaged with people as well. I know we have social distancing, but hopefully you're still able to communicate with people on a fairly regular basis. So keep up with that. And if you have any questions, by all means, let me know. But hope everyone's doing well, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Take care.